Hello YouTube, Sebastian here, and today we'll be looking at VK2 Viking from Blamsoft. VK2 Viking, what is it? Well, it isn't the second version of VK1 at all. It is a brand new synthesizer with modular capabilities and sound quality that is just at the top. You can literally route anything anywhere as long as it makes sense in the modular world. Anyway, let's get started. We have our oscillator section right here. So, we have our mixer section, our filter section, our envelopes. Number two, not to be confused, is the always going to be on the amp, while number one is always going to be on the filter. But if you don't want the envelope generator on the filter, you can always route it somewhere else. Same with envelope generator too. There's also different modes. You can have like a subtractor routed to this CV input, and you can actually use subtractors like envelopes on these, which is really cool. Um, my favorite, I really like these retrigs because legato is good for like leads and stuff, but if you're looking for that more modern style envelope, you're gonna have to go with these retrigs. Um, right here we have our performance controls, your poly, your pitch bend, which will go up to 24 semitones, which is 2 octaves. Um, you have this right here, which is your unison, and it sounds really good. You can spread it out. You can really make those dancey sounds with this easily. Right here we have our glide function, which is your standard glide, your portamento, if you will. The mod buses. Now, please don't get confused with mod buses. Mod buses are not um, modulation matrix. It's kind of similar, but you can do a lot more than just modulation with this. You can do ring modulation, you can do all kinds of things. You can, for instance, we want our sine here, and we want that on our filter, so we could, have Modbus right here. And you could basically get anything from subtle to really aggressive, like RM tones, to like filter FM, and you can also do that right here with the filter. This right here is called linear FM. This is basically like you could take, like, let's say we could use oscillator two's triangle wave, and we can frequency modulate this. But what else you can do with the modulation bus is you could go all the way down here. You could pick oscillator 2 sine, and you can scale it with the mod wheel, or you could and you could go here, put mod wheel, mod bus, and you can do some really, really like complex modulation that way. Let's go back to our reset device. So the nice thing about Viking 2, VK2, is that you can really drive the sound. For instance, he's got different algorithms of distortion back here. He's got a saturation, he's got a soft clip, he's got CP3 negative and positive. and my favorite is the standard default CP3 positive. So like we could have, like, let's put a sine wave right here. So plain Jane sine wave, and we can drive it and we can totally transform the waveform to kind of a square, kind of harmonically driven tone, which, which is really complex. So you think about doing that with like something like a sawtooth wave, and this is basically emulating kind of a moog kind of drive kind of tone, kind of a, like, kind of overdriving the signal basically, and that's basically what we're getting with this. And doing this for like basses or leads is magic. The magic to make those sounds come alive. Right here we got filters. We got a very very powerful dual low pass filter, which you could just listen. Words cannot describe how good this sounds. And yes, this is a zero feedback delay filter. And you have ultra setting, which sounds absolutely stunning. But if your computer cannot handle this, have it on normal. And if your computer can't handle that, have it on super saver. Um, Viking is a very, very good sounding synthesizer. So it takes sacrifices to come up with this really really high quality tone, and it is emulating a very very analog it is, you know emulating on analog circuitry under the hood. So you have different poles of different filters, same with your high pass, but you also have this high pass, low pass. So you have this modifier depending on the filter you have choosed. It'll it'll act different. So right here is the notch filter, and my boys in Neurofunk and Glitch Hop are gonna love this, cause the sounds you can get with this in VK2 is very very crazy. So for instance, let's make a Reese kind of texture. And you can get really nasty basses with this way. So let's reset our device. Next, we're gonna talk about the reverb and the effects. Plenty to cover here. So right here we have the reverb. I think it's the same reverb from Expanse. You got a delay. Same delay from Expanse. You got a distortion, which is very, very nice that you can drive the output signal. You got a phaser and you got a chorus. And this is taking advantage of SDK 2.5 with the different panels. So all these effects have their own controls laid out the way for them. And yeah, LFOs are nice. You got a one-shot mode, you got a reset, you got a free mode. So let's go for rectangle, which is basically a square wave. And we're gonna throw a nice cyan LFO on here. And the thing about VK2 is you can have as many LFO shapes. So what I mean by this is if you want LFO 1 sign on a filter, but you want to use, let's say, the LFO sign on like the frequency modulation in the oscillator or the shape, you can use an LFO 1 triangle or saw. So you can use multiple shapes from just the same LFO, which is really cool, which is so free is basically just means it's not synced. We have reset. Every time you press a key, it's going to be reset. One shot is what it means, one shot. Kind of like an envelope, kind of almost. We already made a funky bass. And, you know, like I said, this drive right here does wonders. And there's also another one right here. So you could drive the amp as well. So we have this retrig mode. We also got a loop, attack, and decay mode on our envelopes. So what that means is it's gonna loop through the envelopes, attack and decay. This is good for creating, you know, kind of LFO, kind of custom LFOs. Basically, it's not the same thing, but you know, it can do some crazy things. So we're gonna put our envelope back here. So we have our curve control right here, which you can so we basically just create a multi-seg envelope just by looping it. So another thing is we're gonna look at the FM a little bit more. So what I like to do is I like to, you know, have my I usually use 3. So and we're gonna change this to, you know, VK1. Now, one thing I gotta clear up, this is VK1's shape oscillator from VK1, but it's totally new DSP. It's not reused at all. Yeah, VK2 is really really powerful. Like I said before, I've only scratched the surface of this synthesizer. Um, you have noise right here. You have pink and white noise. You can add there if you want to. You can. I think you can just add another oscillator there if you want to. You don't have to use noise. Well, there's also, like I stated before, there is a way to ring modulate stuff, and in the mod bus. So we can put our mod bus right here. Turn down our That's not a good. So we can put our Modbus one right here, and we could control that with our mod wheel. So yeah, this has been nice. VK2 is available now in the Propeller Head shop for a trial, or there's a lot of good sounds. We can go through some sounds real quick. The thing about the factory sound bank is you got a low CPU folder. So those people that don't have crazy computers, you do have alternate version of these patches, so you can really utilize these low CPU patches. But if you're not like me, and you have like a beast of a rig that can, really handle stuff, you could, or you just have, plain guts and you don't care, you can try these combinators, which the sound design team really did a wonderful job creating these. VK2, but you also you have a lot of basses. This thing is a bass machine. So clean sub. This is from Spio. Really nice sounding bass. Tom Pritchard made this synth sound. Nice little I apologize if you hear my tapping on my keyboard. I moved, and I can't find my MIDI controller, so until I find it, big pulse width modulation. This is nice. They all have mod wheels applied to modulate and change the sound over time. Heavy 808. This is a awesome. If you're into making hip hop or R&B or chilled music, you can always count on VK2 to have your back with some really subtle bass sounds. Leads. There's some good leads in here from Exode. Tom Pritchard made some really awesome leads as well. I don't know who ND is, but if you're watching this video and that's your initials, you are awesome, dude. Well done with some of these patches. These are great, dude. And Navi Retloff also did some sounds for VK2. So My trackpad's really acting up. Epic lead. Very nice sound there, Exode. Iron Age. This guy is amazing. He did some awesome patches. Yep. So if you like those kind of sounds, VK2 has you covered. We can go with the nice player. So go back to VK2. Dying Sun. And one of my favorite patches in the pluck folder is this Purity patch. Can't find. Oh, Pure. Okay. Percussive. So let's turn off. Snare drum. Yeah, so you can make your drums in VK2 very, very easily. Pads. I'm going into the low CPU folder because this MacBook Pro is a good 6 years old and it'll die. But don't get discouraged. This synth is capable of really creating sounds that aren't too CPU intensive with the different ins and outs. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this. So the cool thing about VK2 is the amount of inputs and outputs you have on the back. So for instance, if you let's just do it real quick. So for instance, let's get rid of this right here. Delete devices and track, delete all. So we will bring VK2 back in with a combinator. So yeah, so we got a plain saw wave. So we're gonna change that into a sine. So like if I were to grab, like, let's say I could grab a subtractor and we could turn this around to the back of the rack. So for instance, if I grabbed my my main output, my audio output, and I put this, let's say, in the linear FM, bring it down a little notch. So you could do a lot of this kind of stuff with Viking. Plenty of experimentation awaits. And go down here and we'll grab a pad, autumn pad. We'll play a couple pads and I think we'll call it a video. So you got this really nice selection of really nice pads, and don't let it don't let VK2 trick you. It is capable of modern sounds. I really hate when Reason does that. It's a bug. Um, Brassy pad. And yeah, you'll probably hear my computer slowly dying because this is not the low CPU folder. Ghost chord. Really good for, like, a horror movie. Lovely warmth. Let's put some open chords on here. And one more. We'll go for an Exode patch because Exode is a boss. I forgot to talk about poly modes, but you got, 2 to 6 voice poly. Viking VK2 is a very, very powerful synthesizer. So that's why you're only getting 6 voices at a time. But you also got this modular mode, which is really nice. VK2 is in the shop. Please go trial it. If you like it, please buy it. This is Sebastian, Azure Eyes, signing out. Have a wonderful day.